Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts here. This is the Gaming Saloon for September 8th, 2017. With your hosts, Peacemaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
I might regret wanting to really play that invasion mode for League of Legends. Because one difficulty is fun, but maybe a little too easy, and the other is really hard, but still fun. At least for like the first 4 rounds of it. Because I don't know if you've looked into it at all to know what even the hell this is.
Nope.
Because to be honest, I didn't even really know what it was besides a PvE mode, a straight up PvE mode for League that featured all of the characters that had Sailor Moon reference skins, essentially. But yeah, we got a bit of a short show this week, so I'm going to front load it by having us talk about the one thing that's not gaming related that we're probably going to talk about anyway at some point. But before that, tell me what you've been playing.
A little bit of everything.
I have seen.
Literally a little bit of everything. Like, the best thing that I can say is pull up like the last week of my streams and there you go.
Yeah.
So I think that comprises of Metroid Prime, ARMS, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and Sonic Mania. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that 6-hour stream that I thought sounded like a good idea wasn't as good of an idea when I got done with it.
What was?
The 6-hour stream I did Wednesday. That OBS crashed in the middle of for no discernible reason.
That's never good.
Yeah, it just straight up crashed. Outside of that though, not much of anything.
Oh. Well, I got one game and then League and then something mobile related that I get to gush a little bit about and then be kind of annoyed. Something I tweeted about these past couple weeks. But first, I played Ratchet & Clank, the game, the movie, the game.
The game of the movie of the game?
Yes. But yeah, I've beaten it. It only took like 8 hours, I think. It wasn't that long. But I had fun doing it. It's the first time I've played Ratchet & Clank since... Oh, when was the last of the Future Trilogy come out? Because that was the last Ratchet & Clank game I played. Because I have Free For All, but I never really played it that much. And I believe Free For All was after the trilogy.
Huh.
I'm guessing it was a while.
Probably. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's essentially a reboot of the franchise that's been going on for a decade plus at this point. It's been going on since the PS2 era. We've been through 2 console generations since Ratchet & Clank debuted. So, it's been a while since Ratchet & Clank started. It's a reboot. It kind of tells the story of the first game, except new, with new characters and a bit updated. It's more expanded upon than the movie is. The movie is kind of the Cliff Notes version of the game. But it's enjoyable and fun, and the Rhino is fun to fire because it is essentially a Gatling rocket launcher that has its own song play while you're firing it, and it has like 1,000 rockets. That can be upgraded in that terms of that ammo capacity and its rate of fire and a bunch of other things as well, because every gun in the game can be upgraded several times and leveled up to max level 10 in challenge mode, max level 5 in a regular run of it. But yeah, it is fun and enjoyable, and it's short, and it makes me want to go back and play the other Ratchet and Clank games that I have, the original trilogy and like the future trilogy, and see how short this was or how short they were, because I don't remember Ratchet and Clank games being this short. I thought they were a little longer than this. I might be wrong on that. Did get to play the new PvE mode for League of Legends, Invasion mode, and okay, you're probably going to be down on this to start with because it's a horde mode, PvE mode, essentially. So it's yet another horde mode, but it's not quite like a normal horde mode. Because essentially you have 6 rounds, no matter which of the 2 difficulties you're playing on. Each of those 6 rounds is different in some way. Because you'll have, I think there's 5 different ways a round can play out. I think. You can have a round that you have full access to the map, and enemies will spawn everywhere on that map, and you have to kill the enemies until everyone's dead. The second type is that same kind of one, except that map will shrink down because a ring will spawn, and if you're outside that ring, you take damage. So you have to stay in that ring and take down everything that comes after you. The third is just starts you in that ring, and you have to defend yourself the entire time. The fourth is the most annoying one, and is the one that kills every single one of my onslaught runs with other people. Essentially, it is you have a point A, point B map. You have that ring that if you go outside the ring, you take damage and die. Well, that ring is moving along this path to from point A to point B. Problem is, a lot of enemies spawn along the way, and that's where that bullet hell shooter I was telling you about before the show, that's where that comes into play. Because you get Cogmaws and the alien tentacle monster one shooting bullets, just shooting off shots left and right, and it is almost impossible to dodge everything. And you take a lot of damage on onslaught mode. And the last one is essentially final boss on the last round. You have to beat the final boss while other enemies are coming after you. And there's a couple different maps thrown in there as well to change up the variation of these objectives. So it's very mixed up in how it does the horde mode. So every round is a little different unless you play a lot of the game. And in between rounds, you do get the shop, but you have a limited amount of gold to buy items with, and you have a limited amount of experience you get to level up. Essentially, you get you'll hit a level no matter what. But I think I maxed out at 16 on normal. So you don't even get a full level 18 levels, and I don't think you get a full 18 levels on onslaught mode either, I don't think.
Huh.
Oh, and for each of the 6 rounds, you have 3 attempts. Because you can die, and one of your teammates can walk over to you, stand on your body for like 3 seconds to respawn you, or to get you back up. Otherwise, you'll respawn in 948 seconds.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not respawning. Because these rounds, I believe the scoring system has you sometimes knocking these out in a minute to get S+ rankings in order to really max out your score. So, yeah. But it's fun. The pool of champions, at the very least, gives me people I'm used to, like Ezreal and Jinx are in there because they both have Star Guardian skins, aka Sailor Moon skins. Lux is also in there. I'm trying to think of who else I've played that I know that's in that pool. I can't think of anyone else. Let me pull up the list, because these are the only champions you get to play as. And you do get to play in their respective skins, which is kind of neat. The list of just the champions. I don't need all the lore. You have Ari, Fortune, Soraka, Syndra, Ez, Lux, Jinx, Janna, Poppy, and Lulu. That is all the champions you get to pick from. And you get 5 because you're in a team of 5 for this mode. And you can't have copies. So, trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing about this game mode. There's missions for it to pick up tokens to get extra items and stuff for the event for the weekend, I think. And yeah, after the first mission that just has you beat a match, or play a match actually, it requires you to play on Onslaught. And one of them is, don't play a game with an ADC, don't play a game with a support, and don't play a game with a tank. And that's not happening unless you are really coordinated in your pre-made game of 5, to be honest. Because that Onslaught is kind of imbalanced in the damage it outputs and your ability to take that damage, I feel like. Especially on the point A, point B run mode. Otherwise, it's fairly reasonable to do it. I've done it most times, but the point A, point B mode usually kills the run. And you can kind of cheese it because the spawn point is there the whole time on this AB mode. So if you can make it there, you can end it early. Like often when the circle is really close to the point B, someone will go outside the circle on point B and hit it. And that'll end the match early, or end the round early, and you move on far quicker. But yeah, I like to play more. You think you'd be up for a few games, maybe some point this weekend before it disappears for like 6 months to never be seen again?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah,
I don't think I've got the PBE downloaded anymore, but
no, it's not on PBE. It's live now.
Oh, it is live?
Yep, it's live. It went live yesterday. So we don't have to play on the PBE server. Nope, it's fully live. You have access to all the characters no matter what. With the characters, you have access to all of them no matter what. Doesn't matter who you own. You have access to all of them. But you are forced to use their Sailor Moon skins. So. But yeah, other than that, the only thing I've really been playing is Fire Emblem Heroes, and they did their Choose Your Legend releases of stuff. You remember that vote we talked about way back when for Fire Emblem Heroes?
Yeah.
Well, they finally put out the special costumes for those characters, and you want to take a guess on what those costumes were?
What?
It's actually, I believe I'm right on this. Lynn and Roy, in this case, I'm less knowledgeable on because I'm not sure, but I'm right on Lucina and Ike in this case. The costumes they released Ike, Lucina, Roy, and Lynn in are actually their promoted classes from their respective games.
Well then.
Yep. And to change up how they play, each of them is wielding a different weapon than they normally do. For instance, Ike, instead of wielding his sword as he normally does, he's wielding his father's axe, which I believe is an option for him in his promoted class in Path of Radiance. I might be wrong on that. He has I swear he has an option to wield an axe in either Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn. Let me check. But yeah, his costume is very much his promoted class in Path of Radiance. And I think he even has his shoulder pad from Radiant Dawn to throw a little extra reference in there. No, he can't, but he's still wielding his father's axe, so that supersedes that aspect. Lucina is in her promoted class, and she's wielding a lance, which is what the Lord class can do in Awakening, because both her and Crom can wield axes in their promoted class. Lynn is wielding a bow, and Roy is still wielding a sword, because out of 4 sword class units here, someone has to keep their sword to have a full, like, normal team. So Roy gets to keep his sword and be normal. But they kind of maybe screwed you a little bit on how to get these 4 characters, kind of. Because when they first released them, you could pick one of the 4 for free. Then you have to go to the banner that they have them and roll the dice for them with orbs. And you want to know what the percentage chance on them is?
What?
At the start, it's 3%. And the more you don't get 5-star units, it goes up by like a 0.25% every time.
Ew.
And bear in mind, those banners, you're not just rolling for them, you can also get a multitude of other 5-star units. Like, instead of getting any of the other 3 Brave Heroes, which is what they're called in this game, I ended up getting Ryoma from Fates 5-star. Yay. Not who I was rolling for here, but I'll take Ryoma because he's good. I think I got a blue mage for 5-star as well on the banner. But it takes 20 orbs to do it. I spent a little money to see if I could get them, and nope. Haven't got a single one of them, which is hilarious because Lynn is my first 5-star unit in the game, regular old Lynn. And when I rolled on the Bride banner that Lynn had a costume change on, I ended up getting her on my one and only pull on that banner, I believe. So I'm kind of surprised that I have not gotten the 3rd different Lynn in this game. Because I did pull Ike, normally. So I have an Ike. I have a level 45-star Ike. So now I have double Ike. I have double Lynn. I'm surprised. I was honestly surprised that I did not pull in at all in any of these pulls, because I'm like, out of pure luck at this point, I'm honestly would be getting Lynn out of anyone, which is fine because I need a really good colorless unit that's not a healer, and I believe Lynn is really good. But along with that, they did the voting gauntlet for those 4 plus 4 other characters, and people really didn't like the finals for it because instead of being Ike and Lynn, because those 2 were kind of going to end up being in the finals, it ended up being Ike and Camilla because she made a comeback with the multiplier in voting gauntlet to win, which kind of sucked. Essentially, people don't like how the voting gauntlet's set up to where if a character's behind, they get a multiplier to catch back up. And if timed right, that multiplier can send that character to victory at the last minute, which is how Camilla won. And the only reason this whole system was implemented in the first place is because Camilla crushed the voting gauntlet she was in. So, yeah. People were not happy about that. But yeah, right now that's over. The little online for mobile mini game to get some wallpapers featuring these heroes is over, which you could honestly go on the Fire Emblem Heroes Reddit and get far better wallpapers of these 4 characters than the ones given out. You honestly can. The banner's still up, so if I get another 20 orbs, I'll probably get one last roll on them and see if I can get them. Because I would like to have a Lucina. I'll probably be getting a Lucina from Tempest Trials, except it's Marth Lucina, aka Lucina with the mask on that she has in Smash Brothers on her taunt. Yeah. When she has that mask on, it's a reference to the beginning of Awakening where she's going by Marth. Because you don't know she's a girl and or Crom's daughter, even though she's wielding the falchion that he's wielding at the exact same time. She's just wielding it's called the parallel falchion in that game. Yeah, I would like a Lucina, a proper Lucina, not Marth Lucina, even though they're pretty much the same character, I think. But yeah, I'll try for one last pull, earning orbs, but it's probably not going to happen. From what I've read, the Brave Heroes are going to be put into the other banners as a normal 5-star pull, possibly, or else another different rarity, since they are special in that way. So hopefully we get chances to pull on them again, because I've seen some people have to do 870 orbs to get all 4 of them, possibly. Bear in mind, that's 20 per pull, because it takes 20 to get a full 5 orb pull, or full 5 character pull. So you can only pull 5 at a time, and it takes 20 orbs. So yeah, that's a lot of pulls and a lot of money. And no, I broke my rule once to see if I could get all 4 of them. I'm not breaking it anymore. That is it. And do you want to talk about building X8 now, since we're probably going to talk about it anyway at the end of the show, considering my quick draw?
It's whichever.
Well, I say we might as well talk about it now at the top of the show.
Works for me.
So, for those who don't know, the X8 finale was 2 weekends ago, and we had the premiere of Build this past weekend. And along with the end of X8, we've gotten information about True Ending, a whole slew of V Cinema films coming out next year, and a lot. So, I guess to start, how'd you feel about the X8 ending? Or X8 finale of the show that's not quite the ending?
That might as well be the ending, because, I mean, we're not going to get much better than that, I don't think.
Well, True Ending's technically the ending of the show because it takes place like 2 days later.
Yeah, but yeah.
We're not getting True Ending till like October, November, somewhere around there. We're going to be fairly deep into XA or in the build by the time we get the solo film. And the V cinemas don't come out till next year, starting in March. But yeah, I thought it was good for what we got. It's the end fight works, but it also kind of doesn't work because we've been kicking Kronos' ass for the last like dozen episodes. So it's kind of a case of, will you fucking die already? For real this time, please.
Yeah. I mean, I like the way that they ended it in the terms of they basically found a loophole to not just completely kill off Poppy and oh, my mind's drawing a blank right now. Yeah. But yeah, outside of that, the fight was like, really, we're gonna do this again?
Well, what's funny about those two getting revived is like wait a minute. That's exactly how Parad came back. Like 8 episodes ago when Embu outright killed him.
But,
Probably should
okay.
have saw that coming.
But, okay. They really, really stretched it.
Yeah.
Because when Emu killed him the first time, they literally had contact with each other. So it was believable that he just absorbed him. This time it's like, you were really reaching for that because you don't want to kill these two off.
Yeah, especially when we're going to pair them up in their own V Cinema movie, because the V Cinemas are not supposed to feature the main character, and, well, if that's the case, Parad and Poppy are odd pair out here.
And they're kind of the only ones that we can do anything with.
Yeah.
Because there again, yeah, X-Aid was main rider, but really our secondary riders kind of held the story together too.
Yeah.
So...
even though they're getting their own V Cinema in this. Which, for those that don't know what we're talking about, starting next year on March 28th, we're getting 3 V Cinema films. They are part of a trilogy called X-Aid Another Ending. They'll be coming with the God Maximum Mighty X Gas Hat, which is literally just a repaint of Maximum Mighty X in Genham's colors. Like Proto Mighty Action X Genham colors, not Danger Zombie Genham colors, just in case anyone's wondering, since Danger Zombie is pretty much his main form in the show at this point.
Even though it really should be his final form.
Hell, in the poster for this trilogy, Genham's in his Dangerous Zombie form.
I don't doubt it.
And Laser is in his Turbo form. And Parad is in his Perfect Knockout form.
Okay. The thing that gets me there is Laser's final form technically was his level 0 form, which we never really got a justified answer on where 0 fit into the whole thing. And it's like, okay, I don't feel right calling that his final form if it technically is weaker than the rest of them, but at the same time, the show never explicitly says where it lays in the whole level system.
Yeah.
So...
At least Genham with a gamer driver is like, oh, I'm still level X because Dangerous Zombie.
Right. Well, I mean... Well, I don't know, because even with him, he always referred to himself as grade 0X. So that means he was still acknowledging the level 0 form.
Level 0 with level X perks?
I mean... I feel more comfortable saying Dangerous Zombie's his final form because he actually had that form outside of being a bugster. But Laser Turbo, it's like, where does it fit?
Well, it's funny to call it his final form considering I think Genham spends more time in Dangerous Zombie form than either of his Proto Mighty Action X forms in the entire course of the series.
Yeah.
And it's even more hilarious if you look on the figure arts end and go, oh yeah, Dangerous Zombie, I think is a regular release, and Proto Mighty Action X, his first form, his first version of it, is I think a convention exclusive. So yeah, in order to get Gem in the first form we see him in, you have to get a convention exclusive. But if you want Gem the entire rest of the time of the series in his final form, oh yeah, that's easy to get a hold of.
So, if they're not even acknowledging that as his technical final form, and that's more of his just base form, then what?
Yeah. even more confusing when they go, oh yeah, he did have an armor upgrade with Shakakiri Sports. Like the 4 times he
Yeah.
used that one.
Well, and like just about the only times that we saw him in Proto Mighty Action X.
Yeah. Which all of those level 3 forms get used so often in that show. I think altogether they got used for like 5 episodes, and then they were all thrown out for Dragonite Hunter, and then all those got thrown out immediately when Laser died, just about, for like Mighty Brothers Double X, and then the level 50 forms for Brave and Snipe. And then those got used for the rest of the series.
Now, Brave and Snipe did have a few more episodes where they were using them.
Yeah, because they had to trade off the gear.
But outside of that, once everyone got their personal upgrades, that was kind of it. We no longer saw those low-level forms. And it's one of those that would have been kind of neat and would have been a way to have kind of hinted at how they defeated Gamdeus. Because, kind of would have been one of those, okay, look, this is the hidden power of the lower levels.
Yeah.
Instead, they kind of throw it out of left field there at the end, and it's like, well,
Yeah, I think referencing the original opening and the first couple minutes of the first episode superseded that there.
Yeah.
Because hell, Genum's in his fucking level 0 Mighty Action X form for that fight. He even dumped Dangerous Zombie for that, for the 4 seconds he's in that fight to do one kick. And then fuck off because this is their fight. But as I was saying earlier, the V Cinemas starting on March 28th, we've got Brave and Snipe. And bear in mind, the wording I have for these is exactly what those titles are called. On April 11th, we're going to get Paradox with Poppy. And on April 25th, we're going to get Genum versus Laser. We had a little art to go with each of these, and it's not super helpful, but it might give a hint, at least to the Brave Snipe one might being a prequel. Might. Probably not. I assume Genum is going to take his God Maximum Mighty X form in the third one, but I don't know what these other two are, to be honest. Especially Paradox and Poppy. Like, what do you think of these 3V cinemas?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is, in terms of the Paradox and Poppy one, maybe it's either something post-show where Paradox is like trying to redeem himself, or it's something that's happened post-show that kind of makes him reflect back to something he's done, and maybe tells a story like that.
That's possible.
Because I want to feel like this is going to be post-show, no matter what. Because otherwise, why would they have made a big deal about bringing them back?
I mean, hell, according to the information for True Ending, we have an entire year to fill in before X8 even meets build properly. So, yeah, it took build.
Wait a minute. He is that bad at trying to hunt down, like, the only other rider in the immediate area?
Yes.
I can believe it.
That is what who it is on the staff for the show, but that's whoever on the staff of the show said that. He essentially corrected it by saying that True Ending does not take place a year after the end of the show. It only takes place like 2 days after the end of the show, but the end credits and the build cameo, which takes place at the end of the movie, happened a year after the end of the show. And
So the movie has a time skip,
yes,
but I'm not going to question it.
I was about to say, I'm assuming that time skip facilitates the fact that the build cameo leads directly into Heisei Generation's final. Literally leads directly into Heisei Generation's final. So somewhere along this year gap, we have build with its 10 years ago. Wall showed up, and no one's really talked about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we already know they don't play with continuity between shows too good.
No.
Because didn't we find issues with Gaim even? Like, some of the events should have overlapped the ending of Wizard.
Probably.
I'm wanting to say we found that out, and it's like, yeah, they just don't care about continuity is the thing here.
Yeah, and also the fact that I think about it, Wizard, Gaim, and Drive had all three major world-ending crises towards the end of their shows, and yeah, no one talks about them.
Well, and okay, we want to go a step further there. What about the immense amount of time at the beginning of Drive?
That too. Okay, four. I forgot about the beginning of Drive. Four.
I
Four
mean,
world-ending crises.
what's sad is as poorly written as Ghost is, I think that's the only one that could fit in with other shows.
Yeah. But yeah, any other thoughts on the other two V cinemas? Even though the Gem laser one sounds fairly straightforward.
I kind of feel like they both will be pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't see too much that would just surprise anyone off of either of the other two V cinemas.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of curious, and I was thinking about this when I was going out to get food. Is anyone besides Genom going to get a new form in this?
I would have to think so, but it might just be like a throwout form. Like it's
Well, I think
literally only needed for the V cinema purpose, and then it's non-existent in any other medium.
yeah. Well, considering all of Laser Turbo's form changes, I wouldn't be surprised if they repurposed one of the other armors and just painted it black to give him another proto form.
I could see it.
I think the only problem is Poppy and Parad, unless you give them a completely new gas hat, kind of can't get another form. Considering
That's why I'm
they're
almost thinking theirs is gonna be some kind of a like backstory telling kind of deal.
Mhm.
And maybe they can play around with something that might only exist for the purpose of the V cinema and then be gone at the end of the story it tells.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool if Poppy got to use the pink Doremi Beak ass hat that exists in the toy line that is voiced by her. But I doubt that's going to happen.
They might find a way to work that in then.
Yeah, what's weird is that existed for like months before she got Tokimeki Crisis, which is once more voiced by her.
I mean, it could be one of those cases where they take a idea like that that for whatever reason got scrapped in the show and decide to turn it into a V cinema.
Yeah.
As for Paradox, I have no idea. Because, like, he just existed with the Oh My God forms.
Yeah.
So, we don't really have a in-between point there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we are getting in the hyper battle video where apparently Parad and Emu are teaming up to save Poppy from some dumb maze thing that Dan or Ganem created. And they're using some repaint of the Mighty Brothers Double X gas hat into like Knockout 2, Perfect Knockout 2 or something along those lines.
Huh.
Which is just a repaint of the Pac-Man armor, which in of itself is a repaint of the Gekito's robots armor. So a kit bash of a kit bash.
Well, I mean, I guess they were gonna save on budget.
Yeah, I mean, like, we have half a dozen armor that's probably never going to be used again. Like, I could totally see Laser Turbo going Dragonite Hunter, full Dragonite Hunter Z in black form, because it's like, we are never going to use this armor again, and we might as well let somebody else use it.
Yeah, I could actually see that. And it being one of those because of it being the proto form, he could actually handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was always the big thing, they couldn't handle all the pieces for long periods.
Yeah.
And then they kind of threw that out part of the way through, but
Yeah, they threw it out when Brave decided to low level grind his way to controlling the level 50 armor, and then that kind of got thrown out for the level 100 version of it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for the V cinemas, but it's gonna be like months before we see any of these 3 movies, and we still have True Ending to get through, which, from what I've heard, is good. The only bad thing is Poppy doesn't get to do too much because she's the only rider who doesn't get to show up for the last battle against Gendeus. Everyone else gets to show up for that fight, but Poppy, nah, she's busy at the hospital. Which kind of sucks, but I guess par for the course at this point.
Yep.
So Build! He has the dumbest watch in existence, and I love it.
I saw a picture of it on Tumblr.
All those equations are right, I believe.
The ones that I could immediately check, yes.
Yeah.
So I would have to assume they all are.
Mm-hmm. You can actually get that watch. It's like $800 on Bandai's website.
I wouldn't pay that much for it, but the watch looks cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good first episode. The whole wall and splitting up Japan and the different ideology stuff kind of propping up, as pointed out by Shinta, is kind of dumb. And I have to agree with him. Because one thing about the wall he pointed out, and I immediately noticed, the wall only goes out so far. Why the fuck does no one like drive around this?
Too much work.
It would be harder to sail around South America, the bottom edge of South America, than it is to drive around this damn wall.
Yep.
Because it's not like it extended out and then encircled all of Japan. No, it just extended out. It was like, all right, this is enough.
But it's a magic wall. You can't try to go around a magic wall because reasons.
Honestly, I think the whole ideology thing is more to do with the people who got changed quote unquote, whatever the hell that's going to be meaning later on, by the Pandora's box than anything else.
I do find it very interesting on how he's going to get his power ups though. And I hope they don't just throw that out part of the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure you caught it too. His power ups actually are coming from the monsters.
Which is a very literal thing that they're doing that's kind of always been there.
It's kind of always been there, but this is like directly they are saying yes, definitely. He's getting their extract, taking it back, it's getting converted, and then he can use the power.
Yes, it's getting converted in the cooler by the chick that also lives in the basement with him, and they pop out of a not a toaster, a microwave when they're done. Don't think I haven't caught that that's a goddamn microwave, Toei. That is a goddamn microwave.
No, it's part of that machine. It
It's
definitely isn't a microwave.
It probably was a microwave that got jammed into that machine.
No, it's not a microwave. I mean, it just has, it looks, yeah, it's a microwave.
Yeah. And I love how we gloss over the fact that this mysterious lady has the power to convert the essence
Yeah.
into a full bottle, and we gloss over that in like 2 minutes, and I'm like, okay,
Like, wait a minute.
I see where Kento's point in the show is going to be, where he's going to be the one where all this the shit that got glossed over last episode is going to be get to explain to, so we understand. But also, by the way, this guy, this is not his first writer acting gig. Guess where he was before this show?
Where?
He was on Amazon season 2.
Ah.
I thought I recognized him when I was watching the episode, and I'm like, I know you. Wait a minute, you're one of those assholes from season 2 of Amazons. Well, at least I know you can act.
Yeah, that was one of those when he was there. I'm like, boy, I feel like you've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you're saying that, it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's upgraded to the main show now. He's done being in developmental on Amazons.
Which I can see why.
Yeah. And what's hilarious is he's a side character in that show. He's pretty much side supporting character in that show, and probably one of the few decent people in that show.
Now, if they don't try to downplay him hard, then we're doing real good.
I assume he's Claus.
I'm still curious who Batman is.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sure we have a name for him. He will be Batman.
Well, it's Bat Rouge, so you're not far off.
That outfit is far too close.
Yeah. Only problem is he transforms with a gun.
So, okay.
And if the Gomberizing transformation is to believe, he transforms by shooting himself in the head with the gun, Persona 3 style.
Huh.
That's according to the Gomberizing transformation, which is usually fairly accurate.
Huh. I mean, when you first said he transforms with a gun, I was kind of thinking more like Chase concept, but honestly, the whole Persona idea I could see that working.
Yeah.
I'm kind of gonna be surprised if they actually go through with that, because in all seriousness, isn't this supposed to be like pseudo kid show?
Yes.
So that's not exactly the best message to send, but um yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they follow through with that or not.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, like, that kind of transformation style requires us to actually know who the fuck Baton Rouge is, and I assume we're not gonna know, like, the teens at least.
Maybe. Depends on if he's supposed to be a major villain or if he's just supposed to be the villain that kind of assembles the team, so to say.
I can almost guarantee that he's not someone we've met so far. Like, as much as creepy guy who invited reporter lady to a hotel room to talk about the wall and stuff and totally not for sex,
Yeah.
he's not Baton Rouge.
And is it just me or was that a little too blatant?
I say it's a little too blatant if you know what to look for in that conversation. If you have no idea what the fuck he's even implying, I don't think you'll see it.
I don't know. That felt just a little. I mean, if they hadn't have had her reaction in there too, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then the conversation after, where she was on the phone with, I'm assuming, her manager.
Probably her editor in chief.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't expect him to be Bat Rouge. I expect him to be a villain in this show, definitely. And I wouldn't be surprised that some of the other people they zoomed in on in that flashback with the Pandora's box will be villains too.
I'm kind of feeling like there's gonna be more than just one main villain,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be more of there's a group of main villains,
Mm-hmm.
which I would be fine with that, especially with all the groundwork they're setting up right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely see Build having to essentially unify the country again by tearing down the walls, and that's going to require actually beating the people who have
Essentially kept the walls up.
Yep. As we went and locked Pandora box in a kind of flimsy looking box that does not look secure at all. And probably not done shit with it since then. Because I'm just like, okay, you've had this box for 10 years and you found what about it? Nothing?
Well, that's the thing they did actually kind of mention. The guy that we're assuming will be a villain at some point had been trying to look for someone to figure out its secrets. They did make that comment. So perhaps just no one wanted to touch it after seeing what it did?
Maybe. It's like, oh no, it put up walls. If we touch it again, it might put up more walls.
It might divide us from 3 to 6.
Here's an idea. Take it out to the middle of the fucking ocean and research this shit. Oh no, it put up a wall that maybe doesn't actually go beneath the ground? That's my question as well. These walls came up out of the ground, right?
Yep.
How far down does it go?
Well, I mean, we clearly know that apparently certain vehicles can climb the wall. So it's not like it's a flat, straight up wall.
Yeah, it's just as long as you don't touch the shiny part of it.
So it's like, couldn't we just, check the wall out, see what it looks like, and if there is potentially a way to, destroy it?
Mm-hmm. one thing I'm curious about with Build, and it's because of being the odd two out of this equation. Okay, so Kenta and I forget the other guy's name. Essentially, Build and the other guy, they don't seem to have monster forms, right?
Right.
Why?
Well, we don't know so much about Build, but we know he broke out before they could finish.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps because of that is why he don't. But at the same time, if that same thing happened to Build, then that technically means we have the potential for two riders this early.
Yeah. Well, the thing about with Bill's like whole trying to going like, where the fuck am I? I don't remember anything. Is he's in street clothes when the manager finds him. He's not in that white test uniform that
Right,
all three other people we know have been experimented on have.
right.
So why?
Unless he was supposed to be like a prototype of the monster and it just didn't work like they planned.
Like he didn't manifest a monster form, so it was like, oh, we're gonna dress you back up and just dump you around the corner and not care. You don't remember anything, so it won't matter.
I mean, that's possible. Because you look, he's got the same side effects as the ones that he's took the monster form away from.
Mm-hmm.
He can't remember anything. He don't really know why he knows the stuff he does.
He doesn't know why he's super smart, but he's super smart.
So, I mean, maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened. I don't. That's gonna be a good question for. Are they gonna answer it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough to tell. That this first episode's good as a starting point. We have two characters that are completely glossed over that seem like main important characters, and they are completely kind of glossed over in like the first 10 minutes of this episode. When I feel like they're supposed to be super important. One of them is super, super important, but like, yeah, she's here and gone in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What's bad is I now just realized both of them are girls. Don't know if that's telling or not. I might just be I might just have become hypersensitive to this now.
That is possible because we know how Toei's been doing.
Yeah, Arc 5, between Arc 5 and a couple writer related things. Yeah, I think I'm hypersensitive to how female characters get treated in various stories now. Very hypersensitive. And considering two of our female characters in the show kind of been glossed over in terms of the plot, it's like, yeah. Granted, like, what are you going to do with one of them if there's no one there to explain what the hell her deal is to someone who doesn't already know that?
Which we might get this week's episode.
Yeah.
Because now we have that somebody that would be asking those questions. But at that point, why did we make a point of really introducing her? Like that's the big thing that I've got. It's like, why was that made a point in the first episode if we weren't going to have anyone around to ask the questions everyone else is asking until the second episode?
Yeah. Well, we could, if I can refine the list, talk about all of the full bottle matches we've gotten. Or the best matches we've gotten, but I don't know where I found it last. It was on the Tokenation forums. I think it's in the news and rumors for Build. Okay, there's the list of every single full bottle that's in the damn belt. Which is not what I'm looking for.
Close to
Very
what you're
long.
looking for, though.
Yeah. Shit. It's not on there. I think I grabbed it off Twitter. Nope. Why did I go to there? That's not even close. Shit. Please tell me the wiki's got that updated. Potentially.
Possibly.
Nope. All they have is the actual ones that have got pictures at the moment. Damn it. No. Damn it. I can't find it now. Probably have to search Build Writer News for the full list because I don't know if he's posted it or not. Because I don't think he's posted it because, as I said to you when I was talking to you during a stream, like some of the stuff doesn't end up going anywhere. There's just sounds in a belt.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have pictures from Hasty Generation's final, our on-set photos. Guess who's shown up alongside Poppy, Emu, and Genom?
Who?
Takaru. They're teaming back up from the Hasty Generations because continuation?
Possibly.
Nope, that was his review of episode 1. Dag nabbit. I know, like, sound-wise, there are videos out there that have shown off every single best match sound. And I don't know if they've shown off every full bottle sound. Rick. No. All right, I give up. I can't find it. Yeah, I don't have it saved. Oh, well. There's a list out there, and we have ridiculous ones like F1 Saurus, Cup of Noodles energy drink. There's some weird ones in there. Like, there's one that hints at Bat Rouge is going to get a rider form proper rider form, so he might be a very Chase-esque character in build, which I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
He kind of reminds me a bit of Chase right now. Yeah, I'm hopeful for build. I'll see how this second episode goes tomorrow. As long as I don't drop off after like 3 episodes like Kyuranger. Or not Kyuranger, Q-Ranger, I'll be fine. And it doesn't go bad late into the run like Ghost.
Yeah.
But should we talk about articles now?
I guess we should.
All right. First up, something kind of surprising and maybe a bad trend for the Switch. It was announced LA Noire is going to be coming to modern console Switch in the Vive. November 14th, you can get LA Noire on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Switch with all of its DLC. And the Vibe is going to get the VR case files version which rebuilds all 7 of the game's main cases, I assume, for virtual reality. And the Switch version adds optional gesture-based controls mapped to the Joy-Con touchscreen controls and wide over-the-shoulder camera angles. And PS4 and Xbox One will include new cinematic camera angles, along with the usual higher resolution textures and other graphical facelifts. So, you too can be a perfect dick come November 14th on a newer console.
Just had to do that, didn't you?
Yeah, might as well slide it in there. I'm kind of surprised, but as someone pointed out, this might be a bad trend for the Switch because a lot of last-gen major console games are probably going to be coming to the Switch. Which
I don't feel like that's going to be a bad thing, though.
Yeah, not super bad, but it's like, eh.
Well, the reason I think that is because, you know, they're gonna try the stuff they already know works first on the Switch and then go from that. So maybe if they see good output from like LA Noire and other games like that, then maybe we'll start getting good stuff.
Like an LA Noire 2, because LA Noire is a pretty good game.
I mean, that would be great. I'm not holding my breath on that.
Yeah, considering the studio made it close down not after it was released. Not so sure about that.
But yeah.
But it's cool at least that LA Noire is getting released on more consoles so more people can enjoy this little hidden gem in the Rockstar collection that has Grand Theft Auto at its core, but it's definitely not a Grand Theft Auto game. So next up, we had a little Nintendo Direct essentially featuring a crap ton of indie titles just before PAX. And oh boy, did they show off a whole lot. Probably just gonna go down the list and pick out videos where we want to see footage of. Start off, we're actually getting a Super Meat Boy game on Switch, which I believe is an endless runner. Oops.
Yeah.
It looks like an endless runner. So, well, not that interesting. What is interesting is the final Shovel Knight DLC campaign, King of Cards. We got new weapons,
King Knight.
New weapons, new abilities, new bosses, new courses. Essentially, what if you know what Shovel Knight DLC is like before? Well, you got another one, which is really cool. What I saw was really cool, and they're throwing in like a triple triad-esque minigame in there as well.
Ooh.
It's like we're even getting a new minigame with this, plus other stuff that got shown off at PAX. We'll talk about that later. We've also got Mom Hid My Game, a game where it's a point-and-click puzzle game where you try to find where your game is hidden.
Oh, an escape the room kind of game.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Eh.
Here's an interesting one. Golf Story. An RPG where you play golf. Yes! It's as dumb and weird and interesting as it sounds. I kind of dig the idea, and it's coming out in September on Switch. Mom Hit My Game is late this year. King of Cards is early next year, and Super Meat Boy Forever is next year. We have Floor Kids, which is a breakdance rhythm game. That's coming out this holiday. Wolverblade, which is one. Let me look at the trailer. Oh, it's a 2D beat 'em up game. Looks pretty cool. It's a historically accurate storyline. Solo co-op. You'll be helping Britannia defeat the Romans, and it's coming out in September. Polybridge, which is any one of those Flash games where you build a bridge, essentially. You know, one of those games?
It's Bridge Construction Simulator 2017.
Yep. Or Catapult, if you want to be that daring. 100 campaign levels, sandbox mode, and it's coming this holiday to the Switch. Kentucky Route Zero TV edition is coming to the Switch. It's going to come with the final episode as well as the first 4 acts on the Switch in 2018. So I have no idea what Kentucky Route Zero is, but apparently it's something to be hyped about.
I don't either.
Earth Atlantis, 2D shooter. I don't remember seeing this at the show. Kind of reminds me of Song of the Deep, except it's all black and white, or kind of gray and white, actually, or gray and black, essentially. Kind of looks neat. A lot more like shmup than Metroidvania. And that's coming fall 2017. Next Up Hero, isometric adventure game, I think you can co-op and play. It's coming 2018. SteamWorld Dig 2 looks pretty cool. It's a 2D adventure game coming September 21st. Mulaka is kind of looks like a tech demo, kind of. It's coming next year. It's kind of a 3D adventure game. Yono. Another elephant adventure game. I think this one's also isometric. The YouTube videos are not loading fast enough for me to skim through them. Yes, isometric, and you have various powers with the elephant. Dragon Mark of the Death is 2D sprite side scroller. Looks fairly cool. Battle Chef Brigade is an adventure game / cooking game. You go around killing things, getting ingredients in order to make the best recipes.
Huh.
Murphy's Law is about the weirdest thing here. Because, okay, it's a multiplayer shooter. Here's the thing about this multiplayer shooter. Let's say you shoot someone in the head. The person you shoot's head starts to get smaller while yours gets bigger.
Well then.
Yep. Essentially, every time you shoot someone, you are stealing their mass. And depending on where you shoot, you steal mass from that place. So as you get bigger, your enemies get smaller and harder to shoot, but you get bigger and kind of stronger. And you get access to different parts of the map depending on your size. And you can start with different size parts of yourself or different size parts. It's really weird and doesn't seem the best balance-wise, but it might be fun. It's coming winter this year. Sausage Sports Club is a variety minigame game coming fall. Light Fingers is oh, it's kind of like a D&D board game kind of, or it's a tabletop experience game with friends. So you can get that kind of tabletop experience in an actual game with friends. It's kind of interesting in that idea. 9 parchments, dungeon crawler, 4-player. I believe you're all playing as wizards who all get different spells and stuff. Nothing super spectacular there. Though this last one is the one everyone's excited about. And it's also kind of confusing. All right. You know what No More Heroes is, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we are getting a brand new No More Heroes game on the Switch called Travis Strikes Again. Here's the thing about this game. It is not No More Heroes 3. And because you and the guy's name, the father of Bad Girl, get hit by this evil possessed console, you have to beat 5 levels in order to escape. And those levels are based off various indie titles. Like the first one's based off Hotline Miami and is actually like featuring Hotline Miami.
Huh.
But yeah, this is not No More Heroes 3. No More Heroes 3 is a completely separate thing. So that makes me really, really confused of like, wait, how does this game play then? Like, are you actually playing like Hotline Miami in this game as Travis Touchdown, or are you playing like their take on Hotline Miami? I don't know. I'm very confused by this concept. Especially when it's noted that this is running on Unreal 4 engine, and Hotline Miami does not run on Unreal 4. You don't need to run Unreal 4 for Hotline Miami. It's not the most graphically intensive game out there. But yeah, any standouts for you? Kind of skimming through the list.
King Knight definitely.
Yeah.
Uh,
I need to get through the other DLCs.
Otherwise, not really. I mean, maybe once something comes out, I might have a different opinion on it, but
Yeah, a couple of these I'd look out for, but other than that, not really. But it's a good, like, real big variety of this is a whole bunch of different stuff you can get on the Switch in the next year, which is kind of cool. Well, are you ready to talk about video game movies?
I guess so.
So, as noted in this article, we are getting film adaptations from the likes of Sonic the Hedgehog, Gears of War, Detective Pikachu, Streets of Rage, Tetris, a trilogy. May I remind you, people, we are getting a trilogy of Tetris movies. I don't know how. If you ask me how, I literally don't know. You have to ask someone who is knee deep in Tetris lore to figure out how you get 3 Tetris movies or 3 movies out of the Tetris franchise. But we are getting also a Mega Man movie.
Well then.
Fox is finally moving forward with, let's see, 20th Century Fox bought the rights for a movie based on Capcom's Mega Man series, and they're finally moving forward with Sharian Entertainment and Masi Oka from Heroes. No details yet, but it will be written and directed by Henry Joost and Ariel Schum. They have worked on the original Catfish documentary, which morphed into an MTV series, Paranormal Activity 3, and Paranormal Activity 4. Yeah. Sure sounds like the best people to be writing a Mega Man movie. The fuck even is this catfish documentary? Like, is it a documentary literally about catfish, or is it about something else and it's just called Catfish?
That's probably a good question there.
Okay, it's a documentary about interactivity of people on the internet, maybe? I don't know. So, you have any faith in this, or really any of these movie adaptations we've talked about?
Right offhand, no.
God, we have talked about so many damn movie adaptations on this show. What's hilarious is we don't have a single fucking trailer for any of them. We just have the fact that someone out there is working on them. And that maybe one day we'll get to see them.
Maybe.
Personally, I want to see Detective Pikachu because I want to see what fucking nonsense they're going to put on screen for this.
I'm with you on that.
Otherwise, I don't know, try. I don't care at this point. I'd like to talk about a video game movie that actually exists and is not in some pre-production, maybe kind of sort of will happen limbo state that so many of these projects exist in. Well, shall we talk about something better?
I guess so.
Well, we should have probably saw this coming situation for Amiibo. We're getting a 3-pack of Shovel Knight Amiibo featuring Spectre Knight, Plague Knight, and King Knight. To, like, no one's surprised considering what Amiibo now do in Shovel Knight. Bless you.
Thank you.
Coming down with the cold.
I think.
Yeah. But yeah, we got this revealed for PAX. They were on display at PAX, and the reveal video is from the Game Grumps, and it's pretty much a porno. That is the best way to sum up that trailer. But how do you feel about expanding your Amiibo collection with more Shovel Knight?
That I'm actually fine with.
Mm-hmm.
And why didn't they do this before now?
Because they had to wait to do King Knight, so they can just do a 3-pack and be done with it? That's just what I think.
Makes sense.
Because I think I think it might have been easier to be like, oh, we're gonna do 3 more Shovel Knight Amiibo just as a 3-pack instead of we're gonna do Plague Knight and then Spectre Knight and then King Knight. Considering how long it took for them to put these DLCs out. And plus, it's a nice way to cap off like, we are officially done with Shovel Knight. I think. I don't know. Well, do you think they'll do more?
I don't know.
Because it's not like we can't, considering what Amiibo can do.
True. I don't know. That's a good question.
For those wondering what the Amiibos do, we'll get exclusive armor sets, challenge stages, and fairy companions representing the various characters. So it's actually more than what was speculated in terms of amiibo before, considering I think we're only expecting like fairies to come out of these amiibo, not like brand new armors and challenges. So cool. That's 3 more amiibo I need to look out for. I completely forgot the Samus and Metroid amiibo come out like this next weekend. So I'm gonna have to pick those up while I'm at home, and then wait around and find out when the Koopa and Goomba ones come out and the Crom and Tiki ones. And then if I get a Switch, go back and get every single Breath of the Wild one. And at that point, I might get the other links because fuck it, let's go. Just have an army of links on my shelf.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Well,
then you can have all the Heroes of Time.
Isn't only one of them technically the hero of time?
Technically.
One's the hero of the win, and one is...
Basically, it's the hero of whatever game they're in.
Well, I was about to say, like, does Majora's Mask Link even have a nickname?
Technically, that's still the hero of time.
Okay.
Because Majora's Mask and Ocarina are shared timeline.
Okay.
Just like, really, the Link and Phantom Hourglass is the same one from Wind Waker, so it's still the hero of Wind.
Isn't that one an ancestor of the hero of Wind?
Nope. Phantom Hourglass is a direct sequel. Spirit Tracks is the ancestor.
Alright. Well, anyway, interesting bit of news of Fire Emblem Warriors, which this is something you rarely, if ever, hear about a console game. Apparently, you can actually drop the resolution of Fire Emblem Heroes in order to get a higher frame rate. Dropping the game from 1080p to 720p will up the frame rate to 60 frames per second. This only works on the Switch version. The new Nintendo 3DS version only run at 30 frames. And you can switch between classic and casual mode while playing, and it will revive lost characters. However, changing from casual to classic is not possible in the game. So you can drop down your difficulty, you can't up the difficulty.
Makes sense, because otherwise you'd drop down to get everyone back and then go back up.
Yep. So what do you think of this little nugget of an idea?
I think that's exactly what they were kind of aiming for with the Switch. So that's good that someone's actually doing it now. I just don't know how many will follow suit.
I mean, it's a neat idea. Although, I am worried about Fire Emblem Warriors, and it's for a completely different reason. You know how this game is only using characters from Awakening, Fates, and Shadow Dragon, which is Marth's game?
Yeah.
Want to guess how many characters from each of those games it's using?
How many?
Well, Fates and Awakening are fairly comparable to each other. Shadow Dragon only has one, and it's Marth. And that's it.
Huh.
We're going to get both male and female Corrin and male and female Robin and all the siblings from Fates and essentially the Crower of the Shepherds from Awakening, but we're only going to get Marth from the first game of the franchise. You know, Hyrule Warriors was far more balanced than this in its representation of the 3 different games they did in that game.
But they could kind of get away with a lot more, too.
Yeah.
Because they weren't really pulling across time and space. as much as they were pulling across different parts of the multiple timeline concept.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know if you saw or not, but I believe I'm wanting to say it was a game theory video about the Breath of the Wild placement.
Yes, I saw that.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's the best explanation we're probably going to get.
Well, I don't agree with his I don't agree with his comment on they knew they were doing this from the start. I feel like this was something that happened possibly around probably when Majora's Mask came out. Like I feel like that's when they started realizing, oh, wait a minute. If we do this and they start wanting a timeline, we need some kind of an answer.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be when they started taking it into consideration a little more. I just don't see it being from start though.
Yeah.
Like N64 era, yeah, I could see from there that's where. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably the most reasonable explanation outside of my personal headcanon of they're all their own separate timelines instead of this one massive timeline that is far cleaner. Yeah, it makes the most sense. And putting it at the end of that branch of the timeline
Fits
probably works
even
out for the
time wise
best.
too.
Yeah.
And I mean, the big factor that kind of really points me that direction too is he's right about Ganon in every
Yeah.
sense of it. Because, yes, there is translation misunderstanding there for the line that he uses. But
Yeah.
both sets of lines really kind of signify the point that Ganon's tired of being resurrected.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the timeline that would happen.
Yeah.
He made it to the point where he didn't have to worry about a hero coming and stopping him, and then now that a hero's came and stopped him, he's just like, well, you know what? Screw this. I'm taking you down.
Yeah, with his infinite bag of the whatever the hell he grabbed along the way to get here.
I personally, I mean, if Nintendo doesn't come out and be like, you know, that sounds like a good idea, we're counting that as the canon for it. I personally like the fact that this is a way to kind of merge the timelines back together.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, we wound up with Calamity Ganon. That's just me. Because, let's be honest, you can call any kind of BS you want. If we wanted to just really screw with people, go ahead and make Hyrule Warriors canon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then you've got some kind of a universe-changing effect that could have caused the three timelines to merge together and happen. I mean, there you go.
And then we can get like Link with a scarf to be like a canon version of Link because that scarf looks good on him. Plus that blue kind of lines up with that Breath of the Wild blue.
Yep. Which I have to wonder, did the Breath of the Wild team do that on purpose because they liked the color?
Considering the game has a reference to every other goddamn Zelda game in existence, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, well, okay, granted though, it has a reference to every other Zelda game to a point. Because
Mm-hmm.
some of those references can be used for multiple games.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that really sticks out, well, the only two that really stick out is the rock salt and the line that Zelda has where she mentions about Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, that kind of happens only really in two timelines.
Mm-hmm.
That it's predominant.
Well, it's not like Breath of the Wild references any of the 3 CDI games, which
Thank
I
God.
believe that. Yeah, I believe Nintendo has the official policy of completely disregarding their existence. So,
But you know what's bad? They could technically be in the same timeline. In that defeated hero timeline.
oh,
Because you watched the video,
mm-hmm.
he had to poke fun at it, but you know, what's bad is that also caused more issues there now. The yellow band.
Yep. Which technically one of the hats he pointed at does not have a yellow band. It's not yellow, it's green.
But it's more of a yellowish green.
Yeah.
Basically it's a different colored band.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Twilight Princess timeline Link, while the hat looks the most similar, it's solid green.
Mm-hmm.
The Wind Waker timeline, there is no lip to the hat, so I can at least be on board with the it's not solid green philosophy there. I do have to agree with you that is not a yellow band. And I was sitting there when he said that, I'm like, that's not really yellow. Not like the others.
Yeah. Plus, isn't all of the games before Breath of the Wild and that in his assumption about a timeline, aren't those all the older games?
Yes.
Is it possible
Well,
that the yellow
most
band is
of
just
them are.
okay?
I'm wanting to say, can't remember which one. Let's see if I can find the timeline. Because I'm wanting to say there is one of those games in that defeated hero timeline that is a newer game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying a new game, but a
Yeah.
newer game.
Well, my thought process was just that the yellow band was just an early design element of Link that just got dropped over time. Because that happens.
Actually, no. That might have legitimately been the thing. Wait a minute. He might have missed something there.
What did he miss?
Did the Ocarina of Time Link have a yellow band?
Uh,
Okay, caught it. That is a negative.
I was about to say no. It's a green rim. It's got a rim to it, but it's green.
Ocarina's the split.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that's not the same link. That's not the same realistic follow that he could do there. He missed a detail. Whoops.
Well, it's just a theory.
Also, I
yeah,
find that funny. He was only so focused on the games in the defeated hero timeline that he kind of forgot about that part. Whoops.
and well, looking at the timeline, yes, all of those are the
Yeah.
older games. The only newer game is Link Between Worlds, and that's a direct sequel to Link to the Past, which is
Link.
why the yellow band's carried over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I'm looking at the original printout of it, not the update of it.
Mm-hmm.
So Between Worlds isn't in there.
Yeah.
But the Oracle games I'm wanting to say is the newest out of those.
Yeah, and those are GBA titles.
Yeah. Were they GBA or GBC? I'm thinking they were color.
Yeah, they're colors.
So that's what, around SNES era?
Yeah.
So really, it might come between the Oracle games or A Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, after playing A Link Between Worlds, I could completely see that being a appropriate stand-in for A Link to the Past. Like, you could trade those two out in the timeline and be fine. Because that's kind of what A Link Between Worlds was supposed to be, was like a reboot for that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel right putting that in the timeline anyhow, by the way.
Yeah. I was just wanting to point out that, like, Link has a yellow band on a lot of his hats. The yellow band is probably an early design of Link that just got dropped over time in favor of a pure green hat.
I'm wondering if the reason for the drop wasn't because of the transition to 3D, though.
Maybe? It might be.
Because, you know, that's not really something anyone's thought of.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with the yellow band and Link's blonde hair, there might be a conflict there in terms of colorization. So just dropping that and just having a pure green hat, yeah, it would be easier to model, most likely, which is probably why I got dropped. Look at there, a probably more reasonable explanation for the yellow band than, oh, look, timeline.
Also, I feel like he really just overshot that little detail there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not seeing anything that points to Ocarina having that yellow band at any point, child or adult.
Well, it's the divergent point. It doesn't have to be in the divergent point. It has to be in the branch. I guarantee you that's going to be the argument.
I can get thrown at Minish Cap.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the hat there's technically a living organism.
It's a bird.
So I could get throwing Minish Cap's hat out.
Mm-hmm.
Because there again, it is a solid green hat too. But I kind of feel like if you want that yellow band part to be the driving point for it, then it kind of should be an Ocarina.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I still like my idea of it's a merge of 3 timelines. If we're solely going off of there is timelines.
Mm. And by the way, looking at this one picture, the only yellow in Minish Cap's hat is the bird's beak.
Yep.
And Spirit Tracks doesn't even count because he's not even wearing a green hat.
Well, Spirit Tracks wouldn't have counted anyhow. And really? Because in the cover art for Spirit Tracks, he is.
Oh, I was about to say, in this picture, it's showing the conductor's hat as his hat.
I've never played the game, so I don't know.
I think he has like 2 hats. He has his usual hat, and he has a conductor hat for when he's driving the train. Because he has a whole new outfit when he's driving the train.
Makes sense. Because video game logic.
Yep. Anyway, ready to talk about releases?
If we have to.
Well, got a couple fun ones in here.
Crap.
Right,
You know what I didn't
now?
do?
What'd you not do?
Same thing I always forget to do. Update that bottom down there to where it actually has the right link.
Well, starting on the 11th, then we have Gravity. I can't speak. Gravity Atlas Finest 1 and 2 coming for the PC. I just bundled them together because they're both coming out on the PC that day. It's a first for me for a game and its sequel to come out on the same day.
Huh.
On the 12th, we got a crap ton of shit. We've got Blackguards 2 for the Xbox One, Injustice 2 Fighter Pack 2 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Inside Limbo Double Pack for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Ken Follett's The Pillar of the Earth, Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Maze for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Tom Fox played the early access of that. It's not quite a horror game, but it is one of those style of games like Penumbra and what else am I thinking of? So what else? Shit, I can't think of anything else besides Penumbra, but one of those kind of games. We got NASCAR Heat 2 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. I guess that's the new NASCAR video game series. I have not tried any new NASCAR games besides the copy of 2014 I have for PlayStation 2. Which shows you how old of a NASCAR game I have there, if it's that old. We also got NHL 18 Deluxe Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Planet of the Ice for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Pro Evolution Soccer 2018 for 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4. Yeah. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Retribution DLC for PlayStation 4, Happy Dungeons for PlayStation 4, Zoom Speedrunners from Hell for PlayStation 4, Tooth and Tail for PlayStation 4 and PC, Trulon the Shadow Engine for PlayStation 4. Yes. 8? That's 8, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, 8. Lacrimian. Fucking hell. LacrimosA? That word? That word I can't pronounce Dana. I can't speak tonight for PlayStation 4, Vita, and PC. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition for the Switch. Hey, a good Rayman game that doesn't feature rabbits.
Except for it features touch controls.
Oh, we also have chess for PC. Just chess.
I mean,
nothing fancy, but just chess.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They have a Legends demo, and I've got it, and it's actually fun to play. But I hope they didn't implement the motion controls as hard as they did, because that would be hard to play multiplayer.
Legends was a Wii U game, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was about to say the only thing I remember from Legends that was really motion or anything was
I said motion, didn't I? I meant touch.
Yeah. Yeah, the only really touch thing was the other player, and that was really it. Or it was the 5th player, and that was really it.
No.
There's more than that?
The Rayman gets swapped out with the touch controls when it's
right.
needed.
Right. That's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, granted, the way they demonstrated some of the stuff, it looks like you can avoid the touch part.
Yay?
Because they kind of designate a button for it. So maybe that will work good enough. I don't know.
Also, before I forget to say anything, hey Johnny, thanks for the heart in chat. That would be my former neighbor now. He's not quite my neighbor anymore since he's living off campus. Forgot to say something sooner. Anyway, on the 13th, we have Don't Starve Together console edition for Xbox One, transcripted for Xbox One, and Cook Serve Delicious 2 for the PC. I don't know. On the 14th, we've got Baja Edge of Control HD for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and PC, Kingdom New Lands for the Switch, Semispheres for the Switch, and a plot story for PC. Am I the only one that feels like that's redundant? Like, if you have a plot story, you have a story or a plot. Like, okay.
Well, maybe it's a story about a plot.
Then what kind of plot are we talking about?
Well, a story.
Like a plot of land plot?
I really hope that's not a typo and it's not a pot story.
No, it's a plot story.
Okay. Because I was going to say that would be even funnier.
Because there's another game along these lines.
So is it a story about a story?
I forgot what it was. Where was it? No, it's a story about dialogue.
Okay.
Just utterly confused now, aren't we?
No. Just amazed that we wind up getting stuff like this.
Yeah. Consistent too. Just right in time to make all the jokes. Anyway, on the 15th, we've got Dishonored, Death of the Outsider for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Dream Break for Xbox One, Jetomero, Hero of the Universe for Xbox One, Xbox Live 18, the One Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, NHL 18 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Time Recoil for Xbox One, NBA 2K18 Early Tip-Off Edition for 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and the Switch, and Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS, making sure that you can play every single Metroid game in some type of updated format now. Now, will it be better than...
You're right, actually.
Yeah, that was the whole point of Metroid Samus Returns, actually, I think is what they said it was. It's just like, yeah, Samus 2 is the only game that's never been touched and hasn't really been updated since its GBA or Game Boy roots, I think. Because I believe that's originally a Game Boy title.
It makes sense, too, because I know the original Metroid and Super Metroid are both on the Wii U Virtual Console.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's kind of the only one that wasn't brought up to one of the last recent gens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Metroid 2 is a Game Boy title originally. Yeah, and the original Metroid got updated into Metroid Zero Mission, if I remember correctly.
It basically had a reboot like that, yeah.
Yep. And Zero Mission also gave us the Zero suit.
Yeah.
Like the proper original Zero suit before it got heals in Other M and then Rocket Heals in Smash 4. Anyway, coming out on the 19th, we have Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, the Telltale series. I believe this is episode 4, according to information I looked up for 360, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, but don't take my word for it if it is otherwise. We got NBA 2K18 normally on 360, Xbox One, and PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PC. The highly anticipated Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC. I say that kind of because people are not kind of looking forward to Infinite because Marvel shenanigans is the best way to sum it up.
Makes sense.
Yeah, to slim it down, essentially, Marvel doesn't want to promote characters that they don't have the movie rights for. So if you're wondering why Wolverine's not in versus Capcom Infinite, blame it on the fact that Marvel and Fox can't get together on a deal to not be dicks to each other over X-Men. It's also why there's no Fantastic Four, why the Inhumans are more prominently featured, and why Spider-Man is there, but apparently that might not last long because that deal Sony and Marvel have only goes for like a couple more years, and we'll only go through like the second Spider-Man movie under Marvel, and then it's gone.
Huh.
So Spider-Man will be back out of the Marvel universe just as quick as he came in, and I can only just shake my head and go, oh my god. Why can't we just get along?
Nope.
Like, just ask whatever the fucking price is to get these rights back and just pay it. You have Disney money. You literally have Disney money, Marvel. Just pay him. Pay the price tag and get this shit back, because this is dumb at this point. Anyway, we've also got the Souls Project for PlayStation 4, Echo for PlayStation 4 and PC, Hidden Dragon Legend for PlayStation 4, The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus for PlayStation 4, and Mary Skelter Nightmares for the Vita. On the 20th, we have Peekaboo for Xbox One, Super Hydra for Xbox One and PC, Soldem Drop Connect Erase for Switch, and Dialogue A Writer's Story for PC. Timely is the best way I can describe some of these PC releases. Bear in mind, these are not all the PC releases. These are just a select few I choose because I'm not reading off 40 million PC releases every 2 weeks. No.
Hey, I think I figured it out.
What?
You said a plot story was about dialogue, correct?
Yes.
So then that should mean that it should tie into the dialogue release. True.
Sure. I don't know. I am slightly too tired to think about it.
Oh.
Anyway, we've got on the 21st Steam World Dig 2 for the Switch, one of the indie titles shown off at the Nintendo Indie Direct. And on the 22nd, we have Caveman Warriors for Xbox One and PC, Inc. for Xbox One, Project Cars 2 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Raiders of the Broken Planet for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Zoom Speedrunners from Hell for Xbox One, The Coma Recruit for Xbox One and PC, the Lego Ninjago movie, the video game for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Yes, Ninjago is getting its own movie. It's also a reboot.
Yeah.
And has nothing to do with the series. And the main bad guy in there is a cat, I believe. A literal cat.
And you know what's bad?
What?
Now we're going to have a game about a movie about a TV show.
About Legos.
Yep.
We've also got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and Pokemon Tournament DX for the Switch. Hey, the Pokemon fighting game and the sequel to the Dragon Ball fighting game. It might be better just to pick up Xenoverse 2, folks. Unless you don't care about importing your character from Xenoverse 1 for dialogue stuff. Anyway, guess that'll take us to quick draws, and mine goes to the new Kamen Rider fighting or Kamen Rider video game we're getting. Actually, Climax Fighters was announced with Build's first episode. Actually, the trailer honestly doesn't show us that much. It just shows us fancy cutscene of like, oh hey, X8 and Fies in his Axel form fighting because X8 picked up the speed up boost. And Kuga fighting Build. And like 5 seconds of actual gameplay that features Maximum Mighty X Xaid, Decade Complete, Kabuto, and Build. And it's coming out December 7th. And it's 7,600 yen.
And it's going to make your wallet cry.
A little bit. It depends on if the game even looks good. I might pick it up because PlayStation 4 is region free. So I can totally pick that up.
I think now, technically, doesn't that mean if we exclude the 3DS, like all current gen consoles are region free?
I don't know if the Xbox One is, but if it is, yes.
I'm thinking it was. I can't swear to that, but I'm wanting to say it was. Because I'm wanting to say they didn't mention something until Sony said something about the PS4 being region free, and then it's like, oh yeah. I know for a fact the Switch is.
Yeah, the Xbox One is region free.
Because I've actually already went through and set me up a Nintendo account to get on the Japanese eShop.
Yeah, I need to.
That way I don't have to worry about trying to import anything. I just go on the eShop and download it.
Yeah, I got to carry over one of my 3 Japanese PSN accounts to my PlayStation 4 if I pick up Climax Fighters. Just in case there is the DLC.
Hard, though.
No, I just got to put in the login info. That's it. I just have to remember the passwords for any of them. Thankfully, all the passwords are in English, so I don't got to worry. If not, I'll just make a new one. It wasn't that hard to make one anyway.
I can imagine it wouldn't be, because it wasn't that hard to make the one on the Switch either.
Mm-hmm. Nor was it to make one for the PSN anyway. I will say, like, a lot of people are comparing this to like J-Star Victories and other games like that. And honestly, it looks like a Z-Target fighter, which are fairly big in Japan. Like, a lot of arcade fighting games are Z-Target fighters if they are not a traditional, like, 2D fighter of some sort. Like, I think one of the major animes out right now, the Panzer series, anime series, it has a Z-Target in arcades in Japan. And bear in mind, when I talk about arcades, arcades are huge in Japan. Like, huge. Like, they did not die out like they did in America. So seeing a Z-Target fighter for Kamen Rider is not surprising. Also, you want to take a guess on why we don't have another Battle Ride War game?
Why?
How many of the X8 riders have a bike?
One question mark?
Right? And that bike is a person?
Right? That's why I'm like, one question mark, because you would have to actually count Laser as the rider with the bike.
Yep. Yep. I think that's pretty much the reason we're not getting another Battle Ride War game. Because
actually, no, two. Because Gim, when he was in Shakuriki Sports, he had a bike.
The bicycle.
I mean, we could count it.
We can count it as much as Beast having a bicycle once.
I mean, it's countable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a cop-out there, though. They don't have a bike, so we can't make another Battle Ride War game for them.
Well, here's the thing. We did not get a Battle Ride War game as soon as Drive came out. Because they had to redesign the game for the car. Well, for the Trideron.
But, okay. There again, that's another cop-out. Just make it so that those characters have more condensed levels to where they could actually just walk. True
Yeah.
concept there in all seriousness.
Well, considering a lot of Battle Royale War 2 is padded out by a lot of Battle Royale War 1 levels, I would not be surprised if there's some lazy game design in this game, in those games. It's not like they're very good games anyway. I mean, hell, I think someone pointed out that the models in this game are taken straight from Gamba Rising.
Wouldn't doubt it.
So this game even has reused assets for all of its characters. But yeah, like no one in X8 has a bike, and it's like, well, we have them all ride Laser, or we can say fuck it and do another Climax Heroes games, which we haven't had one since Wizard actually.
I mean, that does work, but
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I still feel like that's a cop-out.
Yeah. And this is also the first time the Climax series is going to be on console, because before it was all on PSP. Yeah, PlayStation's really big in Japan. That's why all the Rider games are on like PlayStation consoles.
Honestly, I'm surprised this ain't also coming out on the Switch. Because I have seen where the Switch is doing like remarkably well over there too.
I don't know if any Rider games have come out on Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, but I mean, this would be the ideal way to, still keep it on handheld, but at the same time be able to slowly merge into that home console part too. Because, to be honest, if it was on the Switch, I might even be willing to look into it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Summon Ride was on Wii U, but that was their attempt to cash in on the Toys for Life video game series, and it wasn't good.
Well, and then you also have the whole Wii U was region locked.
Oh no, I'm wrong. Climax Heroes did come to consoles. Super Climax Heroes was on Wii, and that was the last one that had Wizard. That came out at the start of Wizard's run, so it only had like up to Flame Dragon.
Okay, and here again, the Wii was region locked.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand then why they are ignoring Nintendo now.
Okay, all the Climax Hero games actually did come out on consoles. Never mind. I thought they were only out on PSP. No, all the footage I ever seen was on PSP. Yeah,
That's weird because I thought so too. That's why I wasn't going to correct you. Because I was like, yeah, come to think about it, I've only seen it on the PSPs.
Yeah. But no, like all of them except the first one, which is the Decade one, came out on Wii. That was the first Climax Heroes was only PS2. Which that's the one that gave us Dark Decade. That never showed up in anything else.
Although, if everything else has came out on Nintendo consoles, that's odd that they're going back to Sony.
Yeah, especially since they've had good portable relationship. Like, both of the Rider generations came out on DS. Before that, the Gamba Ride card game came out on DS. Traveler Sinky, which I would really love to play. Can someone give me a ROM and an emulator for that? Because that's 3DS.
I don't even know if there is a 3DS emulator out there right yet.
Probably not. Let's see. Before that was the Gamba Ride game. There's a Pachinko Kamen Rider game for PlayStation 2. Kabuto Hikibiki and Blade are all fighting games, if I remember right, and they're all on PS2. Because I've seen footage of the Blade game, at least. There's a Fives game.
That is odd, though. many of them that's came out for Nintendo here recently. Why the shift back to Sony?
Yeah.
And if it's because there's more people with PlayStation 4s over there, then why not a combination? Because Nintendo's being pretty relaxed on what they're allowing on the Switch.
There is the one interesting PS2 game, which
Okay.
is Segi no Kifu, which actually allows you to transform. You can fight out of a rider form in that game.
Oh.
It's kind of the one really oddball rider game out of the whole lot. But yeah, I honestly, I don't know. It might just be a graphic situation, maybe. Granted, 5 seconds of footage doesn't help that much.
If we see more and it looks like that, then maybe. But, I mean, to be fair, I don't think I've actually paid attention to the footage, but I'm assuming it's similar to like Street Fighter concept.
No.
Oh, really?
Nope. Z Target Fighter. You know how you Z Target in Legend of Zelda?
Yeah.
Fighting game based. Nope. Here's a better answer. Dissidia. Dissidia Final Fantasy?
Don't think I remember the footage for that. I know I've seen it, I just can't remember right offhand. It's more like a stadium fighter though, right?
Yep,
In
it's
that
more
case,
like an
then.
open air state. It's like an open stadium fighter. You target, you lock onto an enemy, and you fight that enemy.
Okay, then I'm gonna kind of combat this one then. In terms of graphical wise, have you seen anything for ARMS?
Yeah.
Unless it just is going super, super detailed beyond what ARMS does, I don't see a reason why this couldn't run on the Switch.
I was about to say, take a freeze frame at like the 27-second mark, which is where I'm at in the video, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the Switch can run that. Hell, I think the Switch can run any of the Battle Ride War games because none of them are that graphically intensive. Because the Wii U can run Hyrule Warriors at what, 30? 30 or 60? And Hyrule Warriors is far more detailed than any of the Battle Ride War games. I can almost guarantee you.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Switch can run this. So
It might not be able to run it like at 60 FPS, but it could at least run it at 30, and that would be more than enough.
Mm-hmm. I do love this guy's comment down here. He's only going to buy it if Double is in it.
Well, I guess he's buying it.
Okay, Double has been in every Rider game since he's been out. All of them. I think you're going to be able to play as Double.
You know, that's something else too that I wasn't thinking about. This is a Bandai Namco game.
Yep.
They've got good relationship with Nintendo.
Yep.
So on top of that, this even more compounds that as to why not at least a dual release.
Yep.
Or, you know, even being like, okay, this is a delayed exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Well, the good news is I think we'll be able to see this game at Tokyo Game Show, so we'll actually get footage of this game that's not 5 seconds long. And maybe confirms like what we can expect for the fighter setup, because it's weird to have final form, mid-season upgrade, base form in a fight. So I wonder exactly how the forms are being handled in this.
That is a good question.
It's like, how many of these are separate fighters and how many aren't? I assume, like, playable character roster, it'll be Kuga through build as
I
a
would have to
standard.
assume.
Like, we might have a few Showa era riders thrown in there, but like, I wouldn't hold my breath if they aren't. It took 2 Climax Heroes, I think Forze for any haste or any Showa riders to get put in, and it took the Climax or to Battle Ride War, the 3rd Battle Ride War, to get Showa riders. So, yeah. Showa riders tend to get forgotten about in the video games. It's mostly the Heisei crew. I don't know why, it just is. Dumb patterns in video games.
Yep.
But anyway, tell me, what's your quick draw?
Mine's just kind of a quick, because someone forgot to put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, remember the Splatoon 2 leak for what the big update was going to be?
The data mine, yes.
Yeah, a lot of that wasn't a thing. And by that, I mean most of it.
Mm-hmm.
There were changes to improvements, like the specials and various tweaks in Salmon Run, but pretty much it was all tweaks. I don't see anything in here that was like something being added. Now, the data mine could possibly be correct, but it's not going to be for this patch for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, all a data mine can tell us is what is in the game. And if you're like me and follow Digino Gaming and follow a lot of other videos that take a look at what's left in game, like little stuff that gets left in games. Yeah, there's stuff that can be left in games that just means nothing.
I
Like, you know
am
how
wondering too, wasn't the other ranked game mode titled Rocket?
in the game files, yes. Don't know if that was the actual name of it. Let me double check the
I'm
Reddit post.
I'm wondering if, you know, the Rainmaker kind of acts like a mortar shot. I wonder if that was early workings for that, now that I'm thinking about it. Because perhaps it was a case of they copied the original game's Rainmaker stuff and then modified it and then moved that stuff in Rainmaker's place.
Mm.
And then just forgot to delete the Rocket stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's named Rocket.
Because that's what I'm kind of more feeling. It's like,
Or at least,
it's like that's probably something they either copied to make changes to, or maybe that was supposed to be another game mode and they just didn't finish it for whatever reason.
mm-hmm. Well, it's the name based off the code. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the name of the game mode.
Right.
For instance, Turf War is paint in the code, and Splat Zone is area, tower control is lift, and Rainmaker is goal, according to the code.
Well, that's why I'm kind of like, maybe it was a case of, because of it being a mortar shot, they just kind of code named it Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
And then to make sure that it stayed just as balanced as it was to begin with, they copied the original game's code. Like I'm finding it hard to believe that it's gonna be a new game mode, which you never know. Next big patch could implement a new mode, but I just don't see it. But yeah, that was one of those, we didn't really touch on it, so I figured might as well.
Yeah. We talked about it like at the end of us playing League. What was it, last week?
I don't remember when it was, right offhand.
But yeah, just to say what I was going to say before, like, stuff gets left in games all the time that never gets brought up. For instance, you know how Toy Story is coming to Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a model for Woody and Buzz in Kingdom Hearts 2, I believe. Yeah, it's Kingdom Hearts 2. Full model for both of them. It's untextured, but it's a full model. There's a complete level modeled and textured for the Jungle Book in Birth by Sleep. The Ice Climbers are, I believe, stuff for their playable version of themselves is still left in Smash 4. Like their sound file, I think. Like the cheer sound file is still in there. I'm trying to remember the name of the wiki that... There it is, Cutting Room Floor. I think... Is this the wiki I'm thinking of? Yes! Cutting Room Floor is a wiki that has a lot of documented stuff about this. Of stuff that is just in the code that doesn't go anywhere. Or was cut, essentially. And there could be some fairly major stuff that's been cut that's just still there taking up space that never got taken out. Ever. So, it's possible that all this might be cut content? Possibly. Like, did they come in on this patch, or has it always been there?
That's going to be the question, because I don't know. And on top of that, what's bad is without emulators, you kind of can't take that code and like override it with something that already exists to see. And then on top of that, a game like Splatoon that focuses on online, you really wouldn't be able to. So that it's hard to say whether that was just cut stuff or not, but I'm kind of feeling it was cut stuff. Because if anything, I feel like they would tweak the way that Salmon Run is done before they would add another mode.
Oh, by the way, I saw this earlier in the show. Builds Watch, yeah, Shinta posted something, did a post on Tumblr confirming all of the equations do equal their respective numbers and their location.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Worked out all the math for anyone who even had a question about it. Yep, yeah, no, they all work.
I worked out enough in my head to be like, yep, that's good enough for me. Because when I saw the post, that was immediately what I was thinking. It's like, I wonder how many of these is actually right. And then when I started getting up to more than half of them that I could figure out relatively quick was correct, it's like, oh, okay, I bet they all are. I'm just not even going to care then.
I just need a picture of this watch just to show people of like, this is a watch in the show I want. It's really dumb.
No, actually, the watch is really smart.
Yeah, you gotta be a math major to fucking read it.
Or a common rider.
That too. It's still insane that this is still it's actually $860.
That's the insane part. it's like, whoa. I get it's a custom watch and all, but holy
Well,
crap.
it's a custom watch with a leather strap and a case.
That's where I'm like, holy crap. One of those that you buy that thing, you put it up and hope that everyone else's gets ruined so yours costs a lot.
And what's worse for someone in the States that wants to go after this, it's premium Bandai, so you're gonna have to pay an extra like $5 to middleman this.
At least.
Yep. Gotta pay that middleman price. Premium Bandai, why can't you just ship Rider stuff fucking US? So that's all I want. You ship some stuff to US. Some. But like it's mostly Gundam. Which, by the way, there's more Gundam Build Fighter stuff that's coming out on the YouTube. It's mostly little side stories and stuff, but it's been really good. It's probably bad of me to be like, oh yeah, I like that one Gundam series, Build Fighters. You know, the least serious Gundam series of them all. I mean, for a franchise that built itself on anti-war messages and lots and lots of serious material, I'm the one who likes Build Fighters and also kind of likes G Gundam, which is also super not serious. I'm a terrible Gundam fan, aren't I?
Meh.
Well, that'll do it for these couple of weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I think Tokyo Game Show's in the next couple of weeks.
I have no idea. You keep up with that.
I only barely keep up with it, and mostly because I usually Google it when I say it. It's like, what Tokyo Game Show?
Which you know what that means?
What?
You Google it more than me.
It's gonna be in the middle of us doing a show.
Yay.
The second business day is Friday. Is that next Friday? And then the public day is 23rd and 24th. So we'll probably have some stuff to talk about that coming at Tokyo Game Show.
But not much.
Yeah. I'll probably have to go digging for footage for Climax Fighters. Because I'm pretty sure none of the major websites are going to report on this outside of Destructoid, because they keep reporting on Rider stuff. Like
Probably
Destructoid,
because we keep clicking on it.
yeah. Destructoid's actually put up reviews of certain episodes of some of the early episodes of a Rider show.
Really?
Yes.
Well then.
Like, I think they have an episode, they might have an episode up for review of Build. Oh, by the way, just I guess it's just happened right now. We have another Megastone giveaway. Ampharos, Altaria, and Latios and Latia. You need the code DRATCH.
Huh.
Which I'll worry about that tomorrow. Oh, also, getting a hold of the Ash Pikachus is going to be way easier in America than it was in Japan. All you have to do is go on to the official website and get a serial code in between a certain date in order to get a certain cap Pikachu.
Oh. That don't sound that bad then.
Nope. I think the only... I was going to say, there's a movie cap Pikachu that's not listed. And I think that you might have to do something different to get a hold of that one. I think you get a code and you get a QR code for the actual movie hat Pikachu for Ultra Sun and Moon because you can only redeem it in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I think. Which is dumb because all of the Ash Pikachu data is in Sun and Moon. We've known about this one for like months, probably a year by now. But anyway, we'll see you in 2 weeks with Tokyo Game Show stuff and whatever possibly super dumb things are to come. See you then, folks.